Hi, everybody.
Howdy, we're glad you're here.
Welcome back. And to start today, just wanted to relate something coming forward from last week's video where we showed that little video with the kids being afraid of their shadows.
That was so cute.
To me, it's such a classic example of how when we interpret what's happening in our lives to be happening to us, there's something outside that I can't control happening to us. It appears to be a threat. And I react accordingly. And that's the interpretation in my mind. So we're always kind of referring back to the fact that life doesn't work outside in, life doesn't happen to us, it happens inside out. The meaning I give to what's happening outside of me, the interpretation I give to what's happening is what creates my experience from the inside. Going on.
Yeah, it's my thinking about what's outside that determines my experience.
Yeah, so when the kids first discovered their shadow and hadn't noticed it before, it seemed like a threat. And I can't get rid of it. I can't control it. It was really scary. But the little boy at the end was so cute because his father suggested, give it a high five. And he just stepped right in and gave it a high five.
So cute.
So same experience, shadow, new experience, something outside of me, but our interpretation, it just determines our experience of it. So I was just thinking that in terms of often when I'm reaching for food, when I'm not hungry, could it be that I'm just interpreting something in my life as being unsettling, happening to me? I don't have control, and it creates this feeling like in those young kids, the shadow, it's a danger, it's a threat.
Yeah, and then we reach for food when we're not hungry, and then we beat ourselves up for doing that.
Right, so we interpret something from the outside to be threatening that may not be, and very often isn't. So I was just thinking to carry this thought forward, what if we, instead of just reacting to this feeling and reaching for the food to deal with it, we just paused and took a minute and saw to see whether or not, rather than what's occurring being a threat, could it be an invitation into the dance of life? Instead of reacting like I've got to get away from my shadow, it's like, oh, let me give it a high five. Let me engage in this life that's occurring.
Let me welcome it and see what it's come to show me.
Yeah, I was thinking about how I told the story before when I would get cut off in traffic, I'd get so angry because it seemed like it was happening to me and I couldn't control that. And get him out of my way. And yet other times, like the little child that high-fived, I'd get cut off and it's like, oh, I would just back off and there would be this engagement. I would be okay with it. Instead of resisting it, there was like, oh, this is what happened. I could just kind of welcome the experience. And in being open and seeing that it wasn't a threat, instead of reacting, I just felt this compassion and responded so differently, so much more safely, actually.
Yeah, it's so simple. All we have to do is pause for a moment and remember, oh, it's just my thinking about this. I can relax, get quiet, go on about my life. The thought will just float on by.
Yeah, we have a client who was telling us about a situation recently where she was reaching for food. She's gone through a divorce, so the kids are with the father in the summer. And they haven't been with her quite a while, and she's used to having them around. And so her mind starts telling her stories, about, gee, what are they going to be like when they come back? Are they going to want to be with me? Was I a good mom? Can I be as important in their lives as I have been? All these stories, and it creates this anxiety. And, when we step back, we can kind of see, oh, listen to the story. That's kind of like the shadow, isn't it? Yeah. And when she does step back and pauses, she realizes, oh, well, the way that I've had a good relationship with my kids in the past is I just step into life, into that dance of life with them. and then the love just flows. So then, she can see that when she has these feelings starting to come up, she doesn't actually have to determine what it's even about. It's just that there's a feeling there that something isn't right, and she can step into it. She can just say, wait a minute, am I okay right now? I am. Let me just step into life. I'm able, as I have been all of my life, to deal with whatever comes up. So let's just step into the dance instead of step back and try and get away from the shadow with food.
Okay, so we want to show you some food.
Oh, okay, let's talk food.
Yeah, I have a basil plant. And the recipe that we'll do today is this beautiful minestrone soup. We don't normally eat pasta, but I made a pasta yesterday and had leftovers. So inside it are lots of lima beans and tons of veggies and a base of these amazing tomatoes that we get from the farm we volunteer at. So the soup calls for fresh basil. And I bought this plant at the beginning of the season, $6. And I've had basil whenever I need it to add to any dish. It's so great. And we got these beautiful heirloom tomatoes from our farm that we volunteer at. And we got plums, and all this is farmer produce. It's just so great to give our time to helping an organic farmer grow well everything they grow and do a lot of weeding. So I encourage you to connect with your farmer's market to buy your produce, or with a farmer that you can go to. You pick your own, or at least go to the farm and buy beautiful food that will support your body to be healthy. So we'll send you the recipe. Now, if you have any questions about food or about your thinking and how that all works, just give us a comment below and we'll send you our calendar link for Zoom, and you can do a free 1-hour session with us. No strings of any kind, and get a deeper understanding of whether it be food or how the mind works, so that your life is easier.